Ah, someone's just pointed out throughout this entire stream I forgot to unmute myself. That's rather embarrassing, isn't it? So that's now been fixed. Let me just message the person that's alerted me to that. That is frustrating. Let me just send them there we go. I've just sent them a fixed and a sad face. So I'm gonna have to talk through all of that again. Wow, sorry everybody. So at the at the end of the last stream, I said I was going to get rid of a bunch of noted out code in here, which I did. So we've lost like hundreds of lines of code from here, which is great. Convert it to these arrays, which are all these vectors, which are 50 odd entries each, which I've done. That's sorted now. And managed to get this WSL thing working, which is pretty cool. So now we've got this local Ubuntu environment directly available within VS Code, which is really neat. And cool. Someone's just let me know the microphone's now fixed. Good. So then I went through these branches, sorry, and I just deleted a local branch because we don't need this anymore. I've now merged this pull request for a fav icon. Oh, you know what? I then went and just deleted the wrong branch, didn't I? Great stuff. Let's see what else we've got in terms of branches. Have we got the fav icon locally? No, so it's not actually a problem. It's clearing things down that we still needed. So go back to our build. We should see. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. So it's going to run as part of the merge now into the master branch, and then part of the deploy. It's going to run nightly and beta and stable and check that they all work. But importantly, when it runs nightly, and it'll go through this build, we should see many lines of code or many lines of log output showing that it's actually doing the deploy. But this whole process involving this deployment at the moment is super slow, so that might be the next thing we want to tackle today. And in that case, I'm reasonably sure if I go to pull requests, we've got this, right? So we've got these adding Travis deploy stages. So this branch was me heavily modifying the Travis YAML so that instead of having those three separate deploys, those three separate builds, and one of them also does a deploy, modified it so that if I go back to here, back to build 111, it does the nightly beta stable stuff, and then it does the deploy separately. But it seemed to error, so let's find out what was wrong with that. Installs a bunch of stuff. Could not install packages due to an environment error. Permission denied. Concurrent. Consider using user option or check the permissions. I suspect that's saying something should have been sudo. So let's switch to a different branch. I'm just going to check. Check out adding Travis deploy stages. I'll let it catch up. It's going to take a moment just to figure out that all of this code's back. We don't care about it. Care about any of that actually. All we really care about on this branch is this Travis document. And in here we'll spot a deploy. There we go. And I suspect we need a sudo on that line there. That's almost certainly what it's complaining about. So I think we'll commit that. Let's just check where we are. Yep. So git commit. It's Travis file. I can say adding sudo to pip install command, which we are doing. Great. So as nice as that is, as much as that will fix our problems, I hope, what I think would be good is to have this deploy only happen. I know we've got an if statement in here that says only run this code if the Travis branch is master and it's not a pull request, but I suspect we can add this in as an option up here and it won't even spin up the VM unless it's being told to do this. So what did we have here? We don't need this or this. Yes, so this was our let's bring this over here. So somewhere in here, I think we can specify some if statements. Here we go. That's brilliant. So right under the name, they've specified if branch equals master. It's really useful. Well, I say it's useful. We haven't actually specified the name, just specified stage. So I guess compile test name equals deploy. Where have we specified stages? So we've got stages here. So what if I do this? I thought this just ordered the stages, but I might be wrong. I wonder if I can. I wonder if that's valid. I bet that's not. We've got stage deploy down here. Stage tests. Combine these with deployments. Feel like I'm maybe missing the point here in this documentation. If branch equals master. So I wonder actually if we can get some super quick feedback on this, because Travis branch equals master. So I wonder if we can say something similar here and do if. I can only imagine that this is an underscore. I don't know for sure. And before, was that a string? Master was a string. Okay, so let's presume that's the syntax. And then to get again, I'm going to do this to see if we can get some super fast feedback. Fail quickly and all that. We would only want it to run the tests, I think, if pull request is true. Otherwise we are merging and we're saying, well, that's a good point actually. So branch would be master, fine. Branch is not necessarily master actually, it's a pull request. So we kind of want to say branch is not master, or we only want to run this. I guess the question is then, what's the syntax for not equals in Travis? It's probably that. I guess we'll find out pretty quickly. No examples of it here. So how to build stages, how to define build stages, which is effectively what I'm doing here. This is like a manual. I feel like I want almost like I kind of want a list of exact commands that are available. Conditional. So if, yeah, so if branch is master, stages, name is deploy. I feel like these, we might as well keep them the same, right? And maybe if I was guessing, that would be the syntax. Set environment variables, fine. There's no does not equals. Specifying conditions. Oh, there's loads of things here, isn't there? So I don't see pull request. For pull request, the head repository slug. For pull request, the head repository branch name. I feel like I'm meant to understand that. The current branch name for pull requests, the base branch name. Type, current event type. Oh, okay. So that's what I want. So I can specify type here, specify pull request. So in this case, I want that to be a pull request. We run tests if it's a pull request. And here we're saying it's a good point actually. What is that? Genuinely don't know what that will be. Environment variables from your build configuration. Oh, you can do a not. The following Boolean operations are supported. Okay, so we can say, so not branch equals master. And here we can say not type equals pull request. Kind of want it to be a merge. So going back up here, we've got pushes, pull requests, APIs, and crons. Must. I think I'm willing to give this a try. Let's see where we end up on this. Just check actually. Yeah, it's only that one set of code I'm changing. Excuse me. It's only that one set of code I'm changing. So git commit. Attempting to correct build stages. That's pretty. I mean, I'm sure every commit tries to correct something. Trying to only run deploy on merge and tests on pull request. Okay, let's push that. And I've got a feeling this is now going to give us some super quick feedback, which is really what we're after. We don't want to be waiting half an hour to find out. Oh, there's loads of things building. We don't want to be waiting half an hour to find out if this has worked or not. But curiously, we've got a couple of outstanding jobs here. So this one's running. That looks like it's probably going to deploy actually. Good. Which means we no longer need that readme branch. We got rid of that anyway. This one, this was the fav icon. This seems to just be stalled. I wonder if travisci, which is the continuous integration tool we're using, I wonder if they're having a bad day, super busy. Let's have a look at their. No, quite the opposite. It's a Sunday, right? So 688 jobs. They're normally up in the thousands, so they're probably not experiencing any strange load. I think it's just that because this is an open source project, maybe it doesn't get prioritized. Wild speculation on my part there, by the way. I have nothing to back that up whatsoever. That is not what I expected at all. So this is, sorry, so going back to what we were just doing. So I was trying to define these different build stages. And this just hasn't worked. I was expecting, if I go back to build history, I'll just show you what I was sort of expecting. If we go back to here, so I was kind of expecting it to break out 3 of these into a test section and 1 into a deploy, but it to only run one or the other. The fact that that says tests and that says deploy. I wonder if this needs to be added back in. So we had stage tests and we had stage deploy. I feel like though I shouldn't be guessing, and I am genuinely guessing here. It really feels like the Travis documentation should cover this. Maybe there's a better README in the Travis CI, or a better, maybe a wiki. No. This does not look any more accessible, and I assume that's where we were a minute ago, docs.travisci. Okie dokie. Let's search for stages. Let's see if I was maybe just not on the most ideal page. Warming up cache, sharing Docker images, sharing files, matrix expansion. Let's click on that. And let's have a look at this as well. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I don't see how that results in this. Demo repo. Travis demo. Why does the build take so long? Can't cache the build dependencies. That's a really good question. Thank you for pointing that out. So we seem to have reasonably good build times on the beta and the stable, but super slow ones on the nightly. And I think you're right. I definitely think it's got something to do with the cache. It may well. See, I've got this cache entry for Rust, which I presume is all I need, but you might be onto something there. Let's have a look. So we're looking for Travis CI Rust cache. See what we can find. Beware the Rust cache on Travis. Okay. Using it with care. No, I don't want Reddit to ping me every time something happens. I feel like I would be much better off not surfing Reddit, because that'll be my afternoon gone. What's this? Rust and Travis CI cache. Updating your dependencies will bloat the cache. Okay, maybe it's one of my commands. everx80. Maybe I'm doing something here that completely ignores the cache or invalidates the cache. I'm also doing a lot of cargo checks and cargo builds against different architectures. So I guess in that case, no, you're right. It should still cache those for each build, though. Should definitely still cache those. I realise I've got a force on here as well. This is definitely a source of speed issues. So I need to look into that. But I feel like if we can at least break this up into stages, then we can see where the speed issues are. I feel like that's the first step. Can't remember why I opened this one up now. Probably trying to show you something, sorry, and then I sidetracked myself. So this is still queued. I'm almost tempted to cancel this because I can see it's not going to do what we want. I'm not logged in. Sure, I'm pretty sure I can just sign in with GitHub and this is gonna, yeah, there we go. Don't have to do anything complicated. Let's cancel this build. And now I've added these stages in again. Let's see if that improves things. Do we want to talk about the previous commit? Maybe not. Stages have disappeared. We're trying to fix. Travisci. Yep. Throw that up on Git. It's a weird phrase, isn't it? Let's gently upload that. Let's gently push that to Git. What is one that we want? Ah, okay, that's looking a bit better. That's looking significantly better. We've still got this weird one. I'm just going to call it the weird one. We've still got this erroneous Travis build happening. I wonder if it's to do with that uppercase T. I'm tempted to try that in a minute. Although I feel like I'm trying to fix one thing and then seeing something else and then trying to fix that. We should probably see it through and see if we can fix at least one of these things before disappearing. Found too many rabbit holes. Build history. Let's just see where we are. So I cancelled that build. That's, I think, is fine. This one's been going for quite some time. I think this will be nearly ready to do the deploy. Whoever said, hey, caching, you are definitely onto something, because of course, just seeing it compile loads of stuff over and over and over again. Loads of compiling. See where that is. More compiling. Whilst that is compiling, because it's clearly going to take a little while. So cutting job times down is great. There's definitely a bloating issue. I mean, can I check that? Can I check the size of the caches? Wow. Wow, that's ridiculous. 7 gigs. That's I mean, that's a lot. Even for branches that are fairly fresh as well, that have only had a few builds against them. 3.8 gigs of cache. Alright, that's I'm definitely not going to push this button, but EverX80, the cache is probably per target. Yeah, I think you'll probably be right. So the fact that we're doing this against all of these targets, it might be. So I'll also completely own up to the fact that these cargo checks I borrowed from somebody else's build script. They seem to think it was quite important to run all of these, but actually maybe we don't care about most of these. So let's keep reading. There'll always be changes in target if the source has changed, which it usually does. This means new incremental object files, fingerprints, build script compilation. The cache, so stuff's being added every build. So maybe that speed issue that I was trying to blame on the fact that this is an open source project, which was completely unfounded, is actually due to this. This upload of these vast caches, like 6 gigs apiece. Okay, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's no longer uploading the cache. Okay, so I guess the first thing we can do to see if it's a caching issue is I can be really bold and push this button, and then I guess the build times are going to be quicker because the cache that it downloads and uploads will be smaller at the very least, and we can see then if a second build is significantly quicker. Let's do this. Am I sure? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure enough. Something tells me this is going to take a moment. Do I need to manually refresh? No caches have been created. I beg to differ. And I guess actually another problem that we've just created for ourselves is because we've got builds in progress. This is simply going to upload some massive caches again, because they'll have already downloaded the caches as part of these builds. Let's see how this is going. So this is still doing things. It's running unit tests. Great. And then it runs code coverage. And then, yeah, look at this. Super slow on this store build cache line. EverX80 is definitely the winner of today's stream so far. So let that do its thing. Go back to build history. So we've got quite a lot in progress. I feel like I probably need to let all of these run. I guess as this hasn't started. Hang on, what's this? Why has this got these two again? Pretty sure I cancelled this. I'm going to cancel that. Go back to pull requests. Hit refresh, see where we are. Okay, this is the one that we care about. See where we are. So this is saying job received, queued. Okay, so the fact that it hasn't even queued it or booted the virtual machine probably means I realised, by the way, I'm responding to you via like chat, but EverX80, and just in case you haven't heard my messages, I'm going to say, yeah, cheers. Cheers. I'm responding via audio. The powers have spoken, something or other. Aha, you hear me. Cool, cool, cool. I always worry because it says like people are dropping in and out of the stream, and I don't want you to think you're not being heard. Cheers for your input. This is like, I definitely think you're on something here. Not quite sure, and I'm balancing like getting the fastest way to fixing this, so I kind of want to cancel some stuff and close down some caches, but at the same time I feel like some of these need to just be left to run. 37 minutes. I'm pretty sure for an open source project on Travis, I think it'll go for a maximum of 50, and then they'll just cut off at that point. And rightly so. I mean, Travis, good of them to support open source projects for free, but they can't throw money at these things. Changes detected, packing new archive. So this is, I guess, without a timestamp, but clearly this is a huge chunk of time. And once this is completed, we'll probably see a massive cache appear, as you've pointed out. And then I can immediately just clear it down. Although perhaps we don't even need that branch anymore, so I can probably squash the branch or delete the branch. How's this one getting on? So again, this is the. It's curious as well that it's always the nightly one that takes easily 3 times as long. Where are we on this? So we're still compiling. We're not running unit tests yet. We're not doing code cov yet. We're certainly not storing a new copy of the build cache. So that's got a bit of time to run yet. Huh. Build history. That one I cancelled and didn't mean to cancel. No, that was one I definitely meant to cancel. Good. So was that one. Cool. Momentarily confused there. I thought I'd cancel one I shouldn't have. So we know this is still going to be doing the build cache. We know this one. Still compiling. I wonder if I can find out a bit more information on these build caches as well. Like, you know, well that's I mean that's not great, but that's definitely not 6 gigs, right? So I'll leave that one for the moment. I think that's okay. I guess we can keep reading this. So the real fix. Assuming your crate name is awesome crate. That's a good name for a crate. And it has a build script. Yeah, I think that's what we got over here. Then before caching, we can clear down all of this. I'll go clean, awesome crate. If you don't have a build script, remove the build script. What does that mean if we don't have a build script? Cargo cleans as well. Maybe we should be doing a cargo clean. Do we do a cargo clean at any point? Nope. Wow. Okay, so the cache was about 450 meg. After a day or two of semi-active development, the cache had grown to 555. After implementing the fix, they were down to 341. Manual build. Oh, of course, yeah, we could run a manual build. We could run a manual build with no code changes, and then we can see if it's correctly reading the cache. We'll try that in a bit as well. Alright, so there is a shopping list of things to try here. So guess we could modify. We modified just one of these. So we've got the beta and the nightly. I know the nightly is the one that takes super long, so that's but I guess we've got a beta and we've got stable that always take about the same amount of time. So this would be a good test to put in there. So this is not called Awesome Crate. I can't remember what the crate's called actually. It must be in cargo, right? Big underscore primes, simple. Oh, this feels horrible. I should probably lib awesome crate. I want to check I just want to check that that's actually right. So if I do ls then what have we got? We got a target file here. We have to go up a directory. Yeah, so we got target and debug. Oh, of course, I guess we're building it slightly differently. I could check release at least. Target debug. That doesn't mention the crate in there. Doesn't mention that lib thing either. I want to believe that might be a Oh, hang on. That one's in dependencies. So let's have a look in dependencies, see what we can find. Okay, yeah, it's just sticking lib in front of all of those file names. I would expect lib big primes, but I don't see that. I'll do what it says anyway. We can debate whether or not this is ideal or not a bit later. So I'm going to add a to-do. So to-do, added this to compare build times to beta, and also check if each of these is actually needed. Because I guess as well, Rust changes over time, and this was written 7 months ago, so it's probably been a few changes in Rust in that time. What do we want to do? Let's commit these changes. Git commit. So we're effectively clearing cache on stable build, and you can say that much. Okay, as my commit messages go, I think that's fairly informative. That's pretty good. Now, should I upload that? Because as soon as I upload that, that could potentially trigger another build, and I think we don't want to do that. So, did this one just finish, this PR7? 40 minutes. That is bad, isn't it? The fact that that's run, though, that suggests it should have deployed. So if I go here, we can see it ran, in theory, it ran all of these S3 deploys. So if I refresh this, we should see it's not broken. Okay, so that's the live site, and as far as we can tell, it's not broken. It's also not updated though, because one of the things we changed was that we would never have text and zip downloads available. That's curious. Yeah, so this is the local version, and we can see that maybe hasn't deployed. I'm going to worry about that. I am going to worry about that, but I'm not going to worry about that right this second. Definitely a problem with the deploy now, though. Let's see what we've got going on here. So this has been going for 37 minutes. This has been going for quite some time. Nightly's fairly fast. This was from 7 days ago, so we don't need it anymore. This is an old pull request. We don't need that anymore. That's the same pull request. This is the list of changes that we're trying in the build, and this was someone's demo. Okay, they specify. They haven't specified a stages thing up here. I wonder if I can just include it all in here. So many different ways to use this travisci YAML. I feel like it should just be one way and that's it, but that's my opinion. Well, we can see a few things are a bit different here. 3.5 gig versus 600 meg. So that was PR7, which I think is now complete. So we're not going to need that again. Let's make sure that that cache never troubles us again. Improve readme and local dev is still running. I suspect this will only get larger once this is finished running, and again we can clear that down manually. Where are we on the... Okay, so that's running unit tests now. 11 tests. One thing that does bug me is I haven't found a way for this to list the number of assertions. So yeah, right, it's running 11 tests, but there might be 50 assertions in there. I guess it doesn't matter. The test passes or fails, right? And again, it's taking its time building this archive, so once that's done, we can manually clear this down. 3.4 gigs, we'll see what we end up with. What was this? Why did I have this open? Okay, so this is the latest one, just running the tests. Pull request 1. So this should be noticeably quicker because this one won't be running off of that vast cache. And we can also see if there's a difference in speed between beta and stable, because we've added that RMing of cache stuff. Refresh. Cool. Okay, so there's only one thing building now. Any ideas on the stream what we should do in the meantime rather than sit and wait for this to build? Wow. Okay, so on this version, at least beta, let's see what commit that was against. So that was this commit, which was, okay, that says added favicon. Request 2. Go over to pull request. Yeah, what? This really confuses me. I don't know why. I'm expecting build history to have more. I mean, I do know why, but it's confuses me that I can go onto different ones of these and see different things. So if I go onto the branches tab, I see master. If I go onto the build history tab, I can see master's building. If I go to current, I can see that just this one appears to be building. Build 139. And if I go over to pull requests, I can see there's 2. See 134 is building as well, which is this one that is stuck on this vast... Oh, there's a lot of output here, isn't there? Yeah, it's stuck uploading this vast cache. See how we're doing on that cache size. 3.4 gig. I guess this won't actually update until this build is finished. Wow, now it's uploading it. And that whole time compressing down a 6 gig. No, 3.4 gig. So it's 3478 that's on. Very fresh. I don't know why I'm refreshing the whole page. It literally does nothing. Nothing changes if I refresh the whole page. Just create a bit of extra load for Travis. So I guess we've got to wait for it to upload 3.4 gigs of data. I am so sorry, Travis. Didn't know what I was doing until EverX80 came along and pointed out that I was slowly filling all of your servers with cached builds. Not even of my code, it would mostly be dependencies as well. Great, okay, so that's looking like that's uploaded and it's gone. The favicon's gone green. If I refresh this at 3478 and it's still 3478. Might take a minute to upload. It was 8 minutes ago. Again, this is allegedly might have done a build and might have done a deploy. 43 minutes. Okay, so now we've just got this one build going. And what we're really interested in is the race between beta and stable. We might need to do a rebuild to find out one wins. Don't even know what this first one's very odd, isn't it? What does it do? It bothers with downloading a whole bunch of stuff, downloads all the dependencies, runs some tests, and then exits. So it's a whole bunch of building that doesn't need to occur. I'd love to get rid of that one. But I just don't know why it does what it does. Stages tests, great. OS is Linux. Stages deploy. I wonder if we're meant to specify stage in here or something like that. I'm not going to mess with it just yet. Hang on. Oh. I thought it all gone green for a second. It's just that one build. So Rust Beta took 9 minutes. That's pretty good going. If we compare that to previous runs of this, so we're after deploy stages. I guess if I go back to build 109, Beta took 9 minutes and 16 seconds. It's not like we've massively sped it up, but it'll be the next time round that we build that we should see that it stays around 9 minutes and doesn't get any slower. But Rust stable might. Let's have a look at Rust stable actually. What's this doing? Compiling. Lots of compiling. I guess, do we even care about nightly on this particular run? I guess we don't, because we were interested in this before cache thing. So I think I'm gonna squash this. Yeah, I've squashed it. Executive decision. Probably should have asked the stream, but no one's shouting at me, why have you done this? So we know that's going to take about 9 minutes, I guess. Where are we up to? What? Oh, this is still the favicon build that's going on. Just because I'm in the wrong place. 139. Yeah. These other tabs really confuse me. So that's going to take about 6 minutes. So whilst that's doing its thing, let's have a look at another example and see if we can get rid of that first erroneous build that seems to happen. I guess we can look at an example elsewhere. So this says stage deploy. We don't have this up here. I wonder if I can put this under tests. And I wonder if I can put this under deploy. Maybe this is what you're meant to do. Again, it really frustrates me that I'm guessing with this stuff. I feel like I should just be able to follow the manual and everything makes sense. Alas, that's not the case. Oh, hang on a minute. I've got a git push lined up. Did I change something? Not push it? I think I did. I must have been waiting for this build to go ahead. It doesn't matter. That's 4 minutes away. Then we can check on these caches. I've lost. Found. This one can go. There's no way we need a 3.4 gig. Oh, master's got larger. It's all getting a bit out of hand again, isn't it? And I guess we have no way. You know what? I think I've done a silly thing. This before cache. I wonder if we should be doing this. So currently this is doing it for beta, right? But if we're clearing down this cache and then re-uploading it, are we not doing that for all of them? Or is the cache slightly different for... I can't drill down and get more info on these. There's caching docs. So we got an example in Rust, that'll be neat. Oh, they might. Oh, Rusty. Oh, that's interesting. They've specified a directory. Curious. Caching cargo packages use this. Yeah. Didn't find that particularly enlightening. For a project with lots of dependencies, there will be a lot of cache. How big is the build tree on your local machine? How big's the... so we're probably... you know, I can't remember. Is there like a cargo tree command? Or cargo tree? I think there's definitely something called cargo tree that will tell me. The dependencies is about 100 odd items though. There's got to be, let me make this slightly larger. How can I show you all the dependencies? You can just do du minus h target. Oh, I see, you want the actual... I think I'm going to go up a directory. Fair point. So it's 556 locally. I guess when we build it locally though, all I'm doing is I'll just scoot up to one of my builds commands. 1 second. I'm cding to the right directory, turning on backtrace, running wasm pack build for release. And then the rest is to do with moving some files into another directory and packaging things up for a local web server. So my point is, if I'm doing wasm pack build, what does that actually mean? Don't need to go into VI, I've got a whole editor here. Are we specifying when we actually, yeah, when we actually run that, what is it building? Don't think it's going to be webpack that's going to tell me. No, that's to do with yeah, what does wasm pack build actually do? A quick look on here. So I think this is, yeah, this is just going to show, hey, how come they get all these cool little things? I guess that's to do with the project they're building. So commands build, generate an npm wasm package from a Rust wasm crate. So I can only imagine that we're probably not, if I go up to here, for instance, I can't believe that we're running against all of these targets. We're only going to be running against one target. So do I need to? Why would I bother with no default features? Why would I bother with features and console error panic? Your answer is I don't know, and I should know. We need to figure it out. Cool. Okay, so in this case, beta beats stable slightly by a minute and 1 minute and 5 seconds. Excuse me. And we've still got something building. What's this? This favicon thing. All for a favicon. Gigs of data being thrown around for a favicon. Okay, that's currently uploading. Once that's uploaded, I might clear down some of this cache again. And the fact that's running for the favicon actually means we can git push this. Started making this change, but I haven't actually saved it yet. Just want to see if this works. Okay, well, we haven't massively broken anything yet. There's some super HT favicon. Don't know what you mean, sorry. I see. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. See what you mean. A 6 gig favicon. Could you even do that? What's the favicon spec? Because I know you get like favicons for like some of the Apple devices. 2019 guide to favicons. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're not going to get to 6 gigs anytime soon. God, imagine if it let you do that. Imagine if it let you have a favicon of just ridiculous size. Cool, catch you in a bit. Cheers, Everex. Let's okay, so this is building fine. Guess it's fetching this crazy cache. 1.3 gigs. It's fairly crazy. I guess as well, once this runs, in theory, that cache size might massively diminish. And I'm a bit confused as to whether I should where did I put it? I've lost it. This before cache. I don't know if this should run for all of the main build jobs. I feel like, or the main cargo check and test jobs. I feel like it probably should. Might be another thing for us to look into. A look. I'm getting lost now. Too many tabs. Let's I don't need mocha tests at the moment. Well, we do need mocha tests, but juggling build stages. I mean, that's what we want. That's what we want it to look like. That would be nice with quick build times. And they're just using jobs include. So I think we're onto the right way of doing things with this. With this name is tests. Over here. I'm not going to let the nightly one run actually, because we know that's going to take forever to run. So I might as well just cancel that one down now. Beta and stable, we know we're going to take about 9 minutes. I do wonder as well, we could probably break these up into more jobs to run simultaneously. Like if we do have to run these cargo checks, why not break them into 3 separate builds? Maybe we'll get our build times down to like 3 minutes. Be pretty neat. Down to here. See how this is going on. Doing loads of compiling. You can quite clearly see it's not, those aren't from cache. And I wonder if it's to do with this. Cargo install wasmpack force. What if I don't force it? Why? So this is I guess past Craig really causing us problems because I've said to do improve this, it's very slow. Right, but why is it even there? Why did I add it? Makes sense for it to be installed, but why -- force? Maybe Google can help us. Maybe someone's trying to do something similar. Oh, force install wasmpack so that it doesn't prompt for input. No, that can't be right, surely. That's not what this is doing. Well, we're not doing it any other way. So in their example here, they're grabbing the latest copy of wasmpack, installing it via a shell script that gets downloaded and then piped into the Linux shell, and they do a -f so that it ignores any command prompts. Like, you sure you want to do this? Yes, no. Maybe this is doing something similar, but I sense probably not. Cargo install wasmpack. So I guess we're installing a cargo crate, right? So I guess I can look up what the force thing does. I should do that. Force overwriting existing crates or binaries. This can be used to reinstall or upgrade a crate. But why would I do that? What if I don't? What would be wrong with just using whatever version of wasmpack it's got in the cache? Force overwriting existing crates. This can be used to reinstall or upgrade a crate. So I guess it's when there's an upgrade. So I wonder if... Yeah, okay. I think there's definitely something here we can add to this as well. We can say literally according to the manual, we can say that we're forcing an overwrite, and that's why. Well, that's that's what it does. That still doesn't really tell us why. Something was clearly broken, and I added that line, and I hope it would fix something. It's quite a mess of things to sort out, really. How's this going on? 7 minutes for our beta build, and oh no, 8 minutes, sorry, for our beta build, 6 minutes for our stable. Last time it took about 9 minutes. I think it was 9 minutes and 5 seconds. I guess in about 50 seconds we'll find out if it's faster or slower. Can or no. So many tabs. Install. I can't remember why we had that open. Know why we had that open, but it didn't tell us anything. Well, it did. It told us one thing, but didn't save us a huge amount of time. Let's see. Coming up in about 10 seconds to see if this is faster or slower. Wow, it's officially slower than last time. Can't imagine it's that much slower. I've noticed you get some, I guess there's a lot of things that can affect this that I guess are outside of our control as well. So the travisci CI will be pulling down loads of dependencies. We can't guarantee those download speeds. Can't guarantee that they'll even download actually. So it could just be that. 9 minutes 12 seconds. It's in the right ballpark. And I guess this has got another couple of minutes before it's finished. Let's check, see if we've got anything else building. I think it is just that. Pull requests. Build 141. Oh, we've got build 140 as well. So what's this doing? It's running a deploy. Why is it running a deploy? Adding Travis deploy stage. It appears there's a different job. What? Okie dokie. I'm slightly confused. I think I've changed something here, and it's potentially broken things more than well, not broken things. It's separate this out into a separate job, I think. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, this is spending ages downloading cache. Well, I don't want it to deploy on this branch anyway, so let's close that down. Go back to here. So that's our build history. So I think we should just have, yeah, 141. About 9 minutes on stable. Stable should take about the same amount of time. So once this is all green ticks, we can check on our cache sizes, see if they go up or down, actually. So 1.3, and this is pull request 1.8. So if I refresh, I don't think that's changed. Master's way up there, 4.8. And that's quite a nice 539. Okay, next time I think I'm going to open this into another window. And then we can keep an eye on what's actually changing size wise. All right, let's try this latest change as well. I feel like I'm changing so much at the same time. I'm introducing far too many things at once. So this is attempting to fix the deploy stages to not have extra build jobs. That'll do. See see what we get this time round. All requests. Just slightly, there we go. So that's just been received. Okay. Well, things have got better in some respects and worse in others. We've still got these erroneous deploys. I'm pretty sure we had an example. Maybe I closed it, but we had an example of somebody else. Yeah, here it was. So, yeah, in their example, they don't have these random extras. It's got to be something I'm doing in my code. And these are just fast. Maybe I should have cleared some of these down. I guess it'd be interesting to see if this goes up in size when this does. Yeah. This over here. Same one. It's curious, it's only started one job, and it's not even a job we care about. So having a look at this, I'll go build verbose. It does a build. Then runs the tests. And then it stores the build cache. It's strange, isn't it? Because this isn't actually doing anything that we've asked it to do. This feels like it's running. It feels like it's running, I don't know, a default run without any of our scripts. But in our includes at every point, we start off by specifying a stage. Stage tests. Let's go back to here. What can this tell us? So we know it's running Rust. We know it's running Linux. Really, DevOps today. Yeah, I guess that's what it's turning into. It is turning into a DevOps today. It's just with these builds taking so long, I feel like otherwise I'm spending a few minutes on code, and then we hit the push button, and then I end up messing around with the editor or trying to do something else for half an hour. But it feels like this needs some considered thought. If we can nail this, then we can get quick deploys going, and then we do a bit more Rust. Or Rust at a quicker pace. So this is curious as well. So this is running something called tests. I genuinely think it's to do with this. Let's cancel it all down. Right, let's do something ridiculous first of all. So that's called tests. That's called tests. Fine. There's nothing crazy going on outside of. I wonder what version of Rust that was actually. It didn't even specify, did it? Nightly, beta, or stable. I feel like this right here, these two lines are our problem, but just don't know why. And I reckon if I delete that, that's just going to be a terrible idea. But again, I feel like I'm guessing here. I shouldn't have to guess. So here, so in this person's example, we mention a stage, which we've done. I guess it's important to note that theirs is lowercase and not necessarily specified as a string. And then they run a script. and they kind of rinse and repeat, and then they deploy a bunch of stuff. What if we do this? What if we get rid of the names? And actually, what if we get rid of these as strings as well? Sorry, that's muscle memory. I keep going to delete them, see what happens. Alright, I could do, I guess. What, delete the stages altogether? I feel like if I do that, it's going to go back to the way things were. So it'll have no memory of the stages. Tell you what, I'll do both, right? I'm going to, first of all, I'll do two builds in quick succession. Removed stage names, just to see what happens. Okay, we're going to push that, and then as soon as we've got a build going, I'll immediately make that other change you've just suggested. Just delete those lines entirely. Let's see what we end up with. That is officially a build. Huh. And this one's good. It's just this deploy one that's not good. Why? Why, I wonder. So we're nearly there. Let's go back. Sorry, 1 second. I know I said I was going to make one in quick succession, but that looks like it's almost figured out. Almost doing what we need. This, did I say I was going to cancel this one? I think we should just cancel it all down. What was that? Did I do something terrible? Is that what does that emoticon mean? Is that, are you bored, or are you shocked that I've just done something? Did I just do something by mistake? I'll do what I will do the suggestion that you've asked as well. I think this will just outright fail. So I think it'll try and say that these has something to do with what's going on up here. See what's going on. Git commit. No, something worked. Oh, good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's good when things work. Sometimes it's hilarious when they don't, but just watching the word failed build appear all day is not that much fun. So it was a minute 50 ago. So this was the yes, this is the one that sort of worked. And then so this is something that I ran into the other day that had me stumped for ages, and I'll let you in on what it was. So I know that Travis script that we just modified by deleting those stages, I'm like 99.9% sure that's not going to build to the extent that it won't even know what to do with it. So if I go to, and I think it's settings, and somewhere here, requests, that's what I want, not settings. Yeah, so here we go. It just outright says I couldn't pass the Travis. So what I'll do is undo the previous commit. And we know that breaks broke Travis entirely. In fact, we can say it just didn't pass. It didn't pass. on Travis CI. We can push, well, if we push that, we're just back to the same thing. So before I push that, we already know, back. We already know in this build here. Huh? Oh, I'm confused again. Pull requests. PR1. Got test, but it's got no deploy. I guess that's what we. I'm confused. Did anyone just spot what just happened there? I am totally confused. Did I cancel down? Because we had this, which was bad because it had the rust. The rust. What are they called? Container at the top, and we just wanted nightly beta and stable. Was that git commit to revert to previous? Yeah, it was. Oh, sorry, no. I'm not sure if you're asking about my syntax or if you're asking like what was the purpose of this. So the // had nothing to do with it being previous. It's just because I'm actually in the wrong directory. I'm one directory above the base of the or the root of the repo, so I was just committing, but I might be over explaining the wrong thing. That might not have been your question, but yeah, it was me committing the undo. Yeah, so I'm back to being totally confused. I'll have a look at this commit. So we can see, so this is when it still had stage test, but that was without the name. I am very confused. Go back to 143. So 143 was no good. So where's 144? Build 144. This is the one that's good. How can we have all of these simultaneous things going on? So that's for commit 9D4. Right, I'm going to open up another window. Then I went to pull requests. Then we were in here, and this is for a different commit. Let's have a look at our git log and see what's going on. So 9D4 was several commits ago. And that's all good, but cheers for following. My brain's just gone on me, 1 second. Okay, so 9D4, this is the one that looks okay, and that was 3 commits ago. Then we removed the stages entirely just to see what happens. Then we undid the previous commit. So this one that is a bit, let's say, funky, which I've lost. This is the CCB one, sorry. So this is just totally confusing. So CCB, it's not there. There is no. What commit is that? That's from 6 minutes ago. I don't know what this is from. I'm going to cancel it though because it's not what we want. See, the times are nicer now. Yeah, some of them, yeah, but yeah. Let's go. We know that's fine. I'm just going to push this, right? Let's just check that we've gone back to this being broadly correct. Git push. So this is undoing the last change. Build 144 is currently going and looks okay. I would expect build whatever number this ends up being. 146. to look exactly the same. Right, so switching between those two, no difference. Okay, so we've gone back to some level of sense. So we're back to questioning why this exists, this Rust no environment variables thing. So we've got jobs, we've got include, then we've got stage tests, which seems to be all good. Then we go through a series of OSs. Fine, they're all Linux, but we're just specifying different versions of Rust. Then we've got this deploy, which is somehow where we've got this peculiar issue. I don't see that being any different. We've specified we want it to only run on a certain branch. We've specified we don't want it to run on a pull request, which I guess is curious that it's doing that. And I can't explain that. I have absolutely no idea why. Yeah, that's very confusing. So I'm sure the syntax is exactly the same. We've got stage test, 2 if statements, and then we go into an OS. Then we've got stage deploy, 2 if statements, and then we go into an OS. And all of those are tabbed correctly. And then at the end, it's just something totally unrelated about notifications, because I don't want an email every time a build succeeds or fails. Alright, on the off chance if anyone in the stream has travisci experience or just understands what's wrong with this YAML, do shout. Otherwise, I think I'm going to leave that one for now. We can consider that this is a vast improvement. We've got a separate test, we've got separate deploys, which is good. Yeah, still not ideal. Let's see what's going on with those caches. I haven't looked at those in a little while. Let's close that down. We don't need it. So that was 10 minutes ago. So let's refresh this. So our adding Travis deploy stage cache has doubled, no, tripled in size. And that's the only change. So that really suggests that we're not clearing down the cache effectively at all. Let's have a look and see it running those clear cache commands, which I think, did we add those in beta? Pretty sure we added them in beta. If we go up to, yeah, if we go up to here, we've got before cache. So we're running these. So if we go to beta, go down to the output on here. What have we got? Lots of compiling. So it's probably not reading from the cache. And we know it's not reading from the cache because for some reason this doesn't read from the cache. I wonder. So it's in this install section. So in travisci, they've got these different. In fact, maybe I shouldn't open up yet another tab. Let's say a couple of things. So I'm going to make a note of where I found this person's suggestion. Thank you. You're going to make it into my Git history. Build stages is all well and good. Installing dependencies. So install Ubuntu packages. So we don't want Ubuntu packages. We want. You know what? I've just had a thought. I wonder if there is a there's a what am I trying to say? On GitHub, there's this WASM website thing. I'm trying to remember the name of the chap. I think his name was Dave. David O'Connor. So this person had written a quick start website to go with this. So if I go back to their repos, anyway, what I'm trying to do is if I can find their quick start website, they might have a Travis deploy in there. They do not. Okay, let's try the other one. Oh, slight speed issue there. Seed homepage, this is another one. No, they also don't have a Travis in there. It's worth a go. Okay, let's go back to reading the manual. What an exciting day. Setting up services, programming languages, deployment. So I wonder, install Ubuntu packages that are not included in the standard, use apt-get your before install. That's fine, but I kind of want to know what's the point of install. Kind of want to know install versus before script. Right, so that's what I'm going to search for. Travis. So we've got, yeah, what's the difference between this? Thank you, Stack Overflow. Install all of the dependencies you need here. Execute all the commands which need to be executed before installing dependencies. Fine. Execute all the commands which need to be executed before running actual tests. Execute all of the commands which should make the build pass or fail. Okay, that makes sense. So we're installing one of our dependencies, but it's not a dependency. Feels like that should be as part of, that should exist as part of cargo, I would imagine already. There is a .travis in seed repo. Oh, how did I miss that? Thank you very much. Have a look. Yeah, you're right, there is. So what are they doing? So curiously, maybe this was the issue that I was trying to solve, but they were installing something. This all seems to, that doesn't seem to be the same thing that I'm dealing with. That seems like a different problem. Yeah, got it, fine. Currently following this tutorial, sure suggests that I run blah blah blah. Okay, so that's probably them just pulling down a very specific version of something. Version 0.34. Interesting. So they've specified their builds in a different way. They've specified OSs as a list. Maybe that can come out. Curious. I'll go install. Oh, hang on a second. No, that's something different. Entirely different. So why am I installing WASM pack? I wonder if there's something in their cargo toml file. Well, there might be, but it's nothing to do with WASM pack. So I am tempted to note this out, considering we don't even know what it does. How are we going to figure it out if... I guess I could run it locally. That feels dangerous. I don't want to trash my local environment. And all we're doing is installing... Well, hang on a second. If we're using cargo to install something, surely it must be mentioned in the lock file. So what have we deleted from here? Can't remember what we did. Oh, I added a link, didn't I? Let me just save my changes. Added link to gist. Helped with caching. So that's going on. I guess. What's the worst that could happen? If I run this locally, I guess the worst that could happen is I could trash my local environment, and that might end the stream for today. But if you use cargo install to install a binary package, it doesn't change your project's log file. Okay. So the fact that there's -- force, let's try running it without -- force and see if it says, hey, it's already here. No, it does fetch something. Error, wasn't pack already exists in destination. Oh, okay, so it's more about, so it's not part of our local project. It's it's user wide. Here's over x80. That's useful. So this is interesting. So we clearly already have wasunpack installed. Why would I want to overwrite it? Because I'm not overwriting it at any point locally, and my local development environment's working. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of it. See if it massively improves or slows things down. I'll get rid of it from all of the builds as well. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Ah, something broke. Let's build 144. I realise I haven't committed my changes yet. Let's just see what's going on in these builds. Yeah, I think you're right. I bet the binary at the moment is, I mean, if it's forcibly reinstalling it each time, I feel like it's probably not likely to be cached. Oh, well, hang on a second. I guess if it's forcibly reinstalling it each time, it's definitely not reading it from the cache, right? So it's reinstalling it. What am I trying to do? Let's go back. So build 146. So build 146 is continuing on its merry way. So far, lots of green lights. Build 144 failed. It'd be good just to see why. What? Okay, it failed waiting for the cache to load. That's not a good sign, is it? Let's go back. Build history. Have a look at these cache sizes as well. I think they're continuing to grow. Right, let's change this. So let's commit this change that we're now trying. Git commit. Removed force from what was it, wasm pack or something. Cargo install wasm pack. See if caching improved. Go. Yep, please run that and push that up. Wrote that a bit weird. Even after you are removing the force, it might be the case that cargo bin is not cached, and if it's not, you'll still be rebuilding wasm pack. Oh, fair point. Okay, let's find out. Let's find out. I guess we can try that with a push, see what happens. If it rebuilds, and we know maybe we need to add that folder to the cache. Let's leave that one running. That's 146. We've just started 148. You know what? It's skipping, isn't it? It's skipping builds. Where is 147? Okay, there's something odd going on there. There's definitely something odd going on there. Let's ping across to 148. Still, well, I mean, we haven't changed anything to try and fix it, but we've still got this weird build here. Not the end of the world. So these are about 9 minutes usually. I would guess we'll find out pretty quickly. These are running slowly. That's still going. I mean, I say it's still going. It looks like it spent ages on that cache again. Yeah, look at that. 370 seconds on the cache. So I'm guessing... Oh no, this was a bit quicker on the cache. Interesting. Binary already exists in destination. Ah! Maybe that was the only reason I did it. Maybe I was being super lazy and I just blindly did what it said and added dash dash force. Whereas what we actually want is for this to not throw an error. So I guess we want to catch this. So what I'd like to do is Travis ignore shell error. Shell error? Is that... That looks like they're confused rather than... Oh, of course, you know what I could do? I could probably pipe the output, couldn't I? It's installed, don't even install it. Yeah, it is installed. But the question is it installed because it's in the cache? Hey, we could test that. We could test that really quickly. So if I go to 148, let's cancel all of that down. I'll restart this build after clearing down the cache. Let's clear all the cache. Yep. So yeah, EverX80, you're right. Maybe if we don't need, maybe we just don't need to install it. So now if I restart these builds, let's see if we just immediately run into an error. That's still... Does that stay on an error symbol? No, good. Okay, let's see which one starts first and we'll follow that. If any of them start at all. Let's see. Go back up to the old build. So curiously, with our this is looking at a previous build, obviously. It's great that it's separated out the deploy stage, but nightly still takes twice as long as beta, which we can also look into, see what on earth's going on there. Going to refresh this just to see if it makes a difference. Don't think it will. No. And have we got? We've still got. I guess this is queued, but this is deliberately queued because it's not meant to go ahead until all the test phases have run. Come on, Travis. Just need one. Just need one container. Start running. I don't know why I refreshed that. It doesn't do anything. Let's check, see if we've got anything else running that I don't know about that's maybe... What's this? 149. I have a thought. I think this is running 2 sets. What is going on here? There's a whole bunch of stuff. If I go over to Git, I wonder if there's something going on here. How did you survive waiting 30 minutes for a build? Oh, well, you know, do other things. You know, we were faffing around with this WSL thing over here. We did all sorts, made cups of tea. But yeah, what was I doing? Yeah, so looking at this, I wonder. Yes, look at this. I think we've found the source of our 2 builds. So we've got a push and we've got a PR. I don't think we need the pushes. And curiously, if we're getting different behavior, let's go into the settings for this. So first of all, branches. Huh. So I've already got... It's confusing. Dismiss stale pull requests. Require preview from code owners. Require status checks to pass before merging, which is true. This one is definitely going to bite me at some point if I don't tick it. Continuous integration Travis CI. So what am I trying to make? Someone's just asked. So what we're trying, I guess what we were doing at the beginning of the stream was we were updating this page, which we've done. But then these 30-minute build times for it to then make the change or build the code, compile it, run all the tests, get it onto production is tiresome to say the least. So we're now trying to break these up into separate chunks that we can then individually speed up. And then we've started individually speeding them up. Yeah, it's just curious that all of that's kicking off. Anyway, so what would be interesting is, and I'm now doing 2 simultaneous things, which has confused me. Sorry, everybody. Whilst we were waiting for a build to start, I was seeing if there was a reason why we had these 2 simultaneous builds going ahead. Require status checks to pass. Choose which status checks must pass. So that's true. We've only got one of these ticked. So, right, okay, I see what's going on. I see what's going on. The reason we've got this is because it's not a pull request. This is just, sorry, this one's a pull request. This one of them must be a push. Okay, I'm not going to confuse myself with that for the moment. Let's look at just one thing at a time. So we were waiting on this, and we were hoping that it was going to run this cargo install WASM pack. Okay, so we've proved that that is now being cached. That's what we were hoping to do. So this must not have been cached, because I cleared the cache and now it's rebuilding. So I think what we could probably do, and this feels terribly hacky, we could direct the output of this to nowhere. Shell redirect output. I guess to null. I don't really care for the moment. Again, I'll probably regret that. So let's just do that. Anyone else with a DevOps mindset think that that's a terrible idea? I don't know if output matters. Oh, good point, because it might still throw an error. That's a very good point. Allow Travis to ignore error. Or true. Okay. Maybe the return code. Well, I mean, I mean, it feels a little hacky, right? Do this thing or don't, and just pretend you did. I'm definitely gonna put some not hacky at all. I don't know. It feels a bit hacky. I don't know. I guess at the very least we can say we should add some notes to future us. Let's say if this command or if this binary is already installed, this throws an error. We prevent the error via do a check if it exists on a separate line. Yeah, that's true actually. I suspect this will throw an error here on the before script once it's run the install. If this didn't actually install, I reckon this would throw an error, so we're probably good. This binary is already installed, this throws an error. We prevent the error via true. If caching is working, then usually, or then this binary will already be installed. You know what, that's a better version of the first sentence, isn't it? If caching is working, then this binary will already be installed. And this throws an error. We prevent the error from stopping Travis. Cool. Go and put that everywhere. Is that all of them? No, I missed one. Okay, so now we can say git commit. We now cache the wasm pack install binary install. Yes, we do. Let's push that, but would it be better to wait for a build to finish actually? Hang on here, let's go back one. So what do we got? This is build 149, 148, 146. There's loads of stuff, isn't there? I don't really care about this one. I'm very confused as to why it's, I mean, literally it's running nightly twice. Cancel that build. What's going on here? That's the one we care about. I think we probably need to let them run at least once so they can build the caches. And then I guess when I do a git push, this will all come from the cache. There's 146, 148. We go back to the caches, refresh. Yeah, we straight in there with 2.5 gigs. Massive. That must have been an old cache that it's since written. Yeah, that must have been an old cache that it was using whilst I cleared down all the cache, and then when it finished the job, it probably just uploaded a not brand new, but all of the existing cache again. Assume travisci works that way anyway. Don't know. Okay. I don't want that to run a deploy. Thanks, but no thanks. Close that down. Check on what else is building. I think it's just this now. Yeah. So we know these are going to take about 8 or 9 minutes. We know the next time around they're going to be quite a bit faster because I'll do this git push. We'll have that cache in place. I'm at least going to wait for beta and stable to run before squashing this. He says, thinking, do I really want to? We can definitely close these down. We don't need those. Add file E. Oh, I see, just to check the thing exists. And I guess at the same time, yeah, it's a good point. I like that, EverX, that's a good idea. I do quite like that. Rather than relying on some arbitrary line. I guess I could run that locally as well. Is file a thing? Yeah. Standard thing, right? File -e. What? Cannot stat. Okay, so that does a stat. Okay, that's pretty neat. So you're suggesting we could try cargo. Ooh. Oh, I got that wrong. Of course, I had the wrong directory. Cargo. Bin. What else we got in here? Loads of stuff. Boom. See the exit code. Echo $. How do you mean, sorry? Echo a variable? Oh, haha, it's not a question. I see. Sorry. I see what you mean. So if I echo that, exit code 0. Do I then maybe I have to do an ampersand after that? So so you're probably gonna want me to do that. 0 equals no error. Yes. So I guess we could purposely break this now by just adding. Let's just adding like the number 6 in the middle of there. So it never gets to the ampersand, of course. And now it's 1. Cool. You are entirely correct. Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, we do need that for our local test, don't we? That's a good point. Now this is the bit where I should probably put together a local bash script for testing, right? Rather than the horrendously massive command that we've got going on. If I go up here somewhere, where is it? It's if I go up to build. This single command at the moment is just so we see it works. Yeah, cool. All right. Yeah, let's not add it to the test then. Right. Where are we up to? Oh no, Rust beta's taking longer. We're up to 11 minutes now. Why? Maybe it was just slightly slow. Could have been anything, right? Could have been some pulls, some getting of packages that took a little while. Cool. Cheers, Everex. That's really useful. I'm learning stuff here. That's great. I didn't know. I had no idea that you could get the exit code just by doing that echo with the dollar question mark. That's great. So, where are we up to? It's doing a cargo check. Let's have a look what it was doing before that. Compiling to WASM. So I feel like this is probably the first cargo check it's running. I hope not. Actually, that's gonna mean this is gonna be pretty slow. That means, really, maybe on the second cargo check it doesn't need to recompile all of these, but it does because we're specifying a different target actually. Curious. So I don't really want to start anything off whilst this is building because I want it to write the cache. So this is doing more checking than compiling. No, it's still doing a few compiles. What does this do? So this runs, so all of these by the way are compiling with unoptimized with debug info. Minute and 50. I feel like we should probably leave them unoptimized, except when we're doing the actual deploy. Don't know how you feel about that. Might make things faster, might make things slower. Another thing we could try and change. We're on to the next cargo build. No, we're on to cargo build, not the next anything actually. So it'll run the build, then it'll run test, and then it'll write the cache, and then we can do a push in a moment. And hopefully we should see some faster build times. Two and a half gig, 530 meg. Yeah, caches are unchanged. So let's go back, see, just in case, just make sure I haven't kicked anything else off. Build history, branches, current. Cool. Yeah, look at that. Forgotten about that. One of my dependencies is a very specific revision of David O'Connor's seed repo. I'm not going to have a look at that until we've got these build times down, but that's another thing that needs to be fixed. That's terribly hacky. Changes detected, packing new archive. Really hope this time round I'll open up another caches. Hang on. Size dropped. That's great news. So that means that code that we added earlier, at a complete guess, that code we added earlier has kept the cache size down. So I suspect we probably need to add this into stable and nightly as well. But that's fantastic. And even nightly finished in 16 minutes. Well, finished might be a strong word for what I'm looking at here. I'm not even sure. What on earth is this? I feel like this has not actually run our code against nightly. Something odd going on there. Yeah, exactly. It just installs nightly, washes it. It's just like, yep, job done. I've installed nightly. Uh, oh, why? Why has it done such a thing? Okay, we're nearly there with these caches. Come on. I feel like I wish I could. If there was a go faster button, we could push. See where this is actually. So what's this doing? It's downloading and compiling. Compiling to WASM. Okay, so this is probably, yeah, this is doing that WASM. Hang on, this is doing WASM pack build and CDing. This is doing a whole bunch of stuff. That's not what I was expecting. Where is that in here? So that's run as part. That's run as part of beta and stable. Not necessarily sure if we need to run that npm install. I don't think we do. That might save us a bit of time. This is slowly making its way through. Which branch did we say this was? Was this stable? Yes. Okay, so it's a stable branch of Rust. And it must literally just be running through this. Slowly but surely. That's going to haunt me now. Now that I've seen that and been reminded that I've got a hard-coded dependency in there. I'm gonna have to fix that sooner rather than later. That could be quite an interesting one actually, because I suspect as soon as we switch that to, am I using WSL2? Asks Tic Tac. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think I might be using one. How can I find out? If you can tell me how, or maybe if I can Google it. Is this the one that we have to download and compile ourselves, or has this now officially been released? You're using Windows 10 build greater than 1903. Ever x80. Can I link? It's a good question. I might have disabled links in this chat. Sorry. I'm not going to change it right this second because reasons, but I will ponder on that. The WSL2 is 20 times faster. I like things being faster. 20 times sounds amazing. Yeah, WSL. I will. By the way, Everx, I will sort out linking. But not midstream if that's all right. But I will sort that out before the next one. The first docs link, enable virtual machine platform. So that I think is different to the normal one that we run. You can allow everx80 for posting link for a few seconds using the permit command. Oh, you're all teaching me a great deal today. I can try. So oh, curious. Okay, interesting. Okay, I'll stop being sidetracked by that. So yeah, so I haven't done all of this. I'll tell you what. Let's get another build going. It doesn't use complete Linux kernel on WSL1. Okay. WSL2 uses Hyper-V or something. Yeah, I guess there's always a danger that I might need to flip a switch in the old motherboard settings in the old BIOS. I think I've got Hyper-V enabled. However, I'll leave that tab open. We will definitely come back to that. Let's just check on our builds. What do you know? It's still going. but we can see what that's building against. So whilst that's building, let's just carry on with this. What project am I working on? So it's this website. It's pretty basic. So we're compiling Rust into WebAssembly, and then using using Travis as our continuous integration tool, we are deploying to the live Big Primes S3 bucket. It's using AWS S3 and CloudFront to do the actual hosting. It costs, like, using that method, it costs I think a couple of pence per month to host, which is pretty nice. But it does have some interesting quirks. So if I go to developer tools and I just show you the network tab and refresh, so it's a single page site, which for many reasons is really cool and keeps the cost down, but it's single page at 1.3 megabytes, and I just feel that that's maybe a bit much for what is essentially quite a small amount of code. Maybe I've got unrealistic hopes, but yeah, end up with a 1.3 meg binary of WebAssembly at the end of it. But yeah, this is just a site I use to experiment with stuff, and originally it was written in, what is 1 meg nowadays? Yeah, it's a good point. What is 1 meg nowadays? It's a rounding error on someone's log file, isn't it? Things are tending towards getting quicker, so that is still going. You know what I'm tempted to do? I'm tempted to use this Windows Snap option. So let's drag this over here. Oh, hang on, it's packing a new archive, so we're nearly there. I was going to say, hey, let's crack on with this WSL2 thing whilst this is running, but if that is about, put that back over here, that's about to upload the cache, which is now done. We should see then, if I refresh this, that was 77312, boom, it's back up to 2.2 gigs, which I guess makes sense, right? Because on our stable build, we're not running this, we only put that on the beta. No, that's literally the exact opposite. Okay, that makes no sense. Come back to that. So now I wanted to do a git push, didn't we? That's what we wanted to do. Yes, thank you. You're you're on top of what's going on. Then we should see build 151 again. There's what is this? What is build 151? Because there's also going to be a 150 or a 152 hanging around, and that's the one I actually want. I do need to figure that out. Not right this second. But I don't care about all of these for the moment, so let's cancel all of those down. This one we do care about. So what we should see is we should see it fetches, frankly, a bit of a ridiculous 2 gig cache. And then, was it stable I added it to? Sorry, you just pointed out in chat. I thought I added it to, we added this to everything, didn't we? But it's, yeah, it's on the screen as stable. So let's go and have a look at stable. Okay, so it's probably downloading 2.2 gigs of cache. If not in a moment, then right this second. Once that's done, then we get to find out whether this wasm pack build thing caching. That seems to be doing not a lot. I wish Travis had some like system metrics. I'd like to know if it's doing a huge amount of downloading, for instance. Okay, so it's running Rust up, so this is still part of the really basic boot up. Huh. I feel like that was at 0.24 seconds, a little bit quicker. That's great news. All right, cheers everyone. We've sped things up. We can say that for certain now. Yes. I don't mind waiting a quarter of a second instead of however many. I think that was into the hundreds of seconds before, wasn't it? If I open up another tab and I go to you know what, I'm going to clear some tabs down in a minute as well. If I go to one of the previous pull requests, so or build history, go to oh no, that was cancelled. Let's not bother. Well, yeah, actually, go to stable. We can see 397 seconds. So we have taken 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes off of our build time. That's brilliant news. 16 minutes down to 1. Not sure. I think we've taken. I mean, can we get down to 1? I mean, I'm sure we can get down to 1, but we've got to get there step by step. Hang on a minute. No, is that already? That's impressive. I think you're right actually, and we've knocked a lot more than 6 minutes off of that. Oh no, it's saying about 9 minutes before, wasn't it? So yeah, that's about right. Okay, well that's a significant improvement. 2 minutes 55 for a build. That's good. Let's see. We know that nightly is always ridiculously slow. Guess we can see what's going on with the cache as well. So stable will have just uploaded a new cache. Still seems to think it needs 2.2 gigs of that. Maybe that cache does. So I guess this Wazam pack build thing, for all we know, that could be huge. I guess actually you did suggest I run a command earlier to find out. I think we were using du, weren't we? Oh, what have I done? Is it disk usage? Yeah, so that was half a gig, but that's within here. That's not within our cargo bin directory. Should be interesting in itself. I guess just an ls would probably do. There's only 20 megs in there. Not that then. So somehow we're creating gigabytes of cacheable data, but not clearing it down. Not really sure where that's coming from. But hey, that's another thing we can target. Let's go back to here. Whoa! Hang on, is this the nightly that we think is not really the nightly? Try du -h cargo. Oh, you reckon the whole cargo directory? How did it? You guys seeing this? It's forgotten the history. Now it's remembering it. That's weird. I think that's a WSL bug. You reckon that? Well, that's a bit bigger. 266. Hello, is Rust good for web REST API? I'll be 100% honest. I don't know, but I can tell you how to find out. It's not what we're doing today. So I'm actually using REST to compile into WebAssembly. You could make a pretty effective REST API with it. But I'd probably question why Rust. Why not? You know, as opposed to what? Is this a personal project you're thinking? This is aimed at user Dalek, by the way. Is this a personal project? Because I guess if you're working on, if this is something that you're thinking about for work, you've got to convince the rest of your team or whoever it is that makes the decisions, or maybe you've got that much freedom. That'd be nice. Yeah, it's a personal project. Okay, so I mean, I don't see why not. Everex has been coming out with some great suggestions throughout the entire chat, and he's just suggested that Actix Web is something that should be considered. Is that a what is that? Is that a Rust package? Actix Web? Could Google it. You want to learn a new language? Well, I'd highly recommend Rust if you're learning a new language. Honestly, the compiler is just, it's a thing of beauty. Let's see what we got going on. So that finished. Yeah, so I wonder what this is trying. This is going to do some interesting things. Because it's not, in theory, it shouldn't actually deploy anything. In fact, it shouldn't run any of this at all. So I guess this is another thing we could speed up now. We can prevent this nightly from doing its thing. Rust and Node.js framework. No, Rust is a full-on language. So Rust is, I think, was it Mozilla that came up with Rust? It's got some really powerful features. So one of the most powerful features is the way it compiles and the way it handles things like variable borrowing and things like that. It's very difficult to write Rust code that is. No, I'm not gonna say terrible actually. You could definitely write some terrible Rust code. You've only got to look through some of my GitHub for that. It's a lot more difficult to write bad code in Rust, and it's a lot more difficult to write dangerous code, which is the main thing. Rocket Framework, yeah, had a look at Rocket Framework. I started actually to use Rocket Framework for this project. But for some reason I stopped. I can't remember why I stopped using it. I can't remember if I couldn't. I think it didn't do what I wanted, because as you rightly point out, I think it was aimed at the back end. Everex, how do I permit you to send links? You've been really amazing during this session. I just want to give you that ability. Somebody said further up in the chat how to do it, but I've since lost it. Like permit something. Alright, no worries. Just feel like helping others is something I would very much like to do. Cool. Okay, let's go back to this. Still compiling. But I tell you what, I kind of don't want to. I'm not really worried about this finishing, because it's going to compile and not deploy, because it's not on the master branch, it's on a pull request. And this does a whole bunch of stuff still. Okay, so there's a couple of things we can improve here. We've got this phantom container being created here that I just don't know why. And we've got Rust Nightly running when, for the most part, we don't need it to. Should only run if the branch is master and it's not a pull request. Facts. So Nightly must appear in this code twice, right? Apparently more than twice. So yeah, we've got, as part of the test, we run the Nightly. That's fine. And then as part of the deploy, we run Nightly. I wonder if this if statement should be after the OS or something like that. I feel like it's just being completely ignored. Someone's asking, you've got you're on a project, you've got a function, and you want to run daily. How can I set up a cron job in your server? I mean, I guess we are doing some DevOpsy things, but Sounds like you just want to run a cron, right? You just want to edit your cron. So I'm not going to go off topic with this chat, but maybe some with this session actually, because I'll get lost down the cron job well. But I think all you probably want to do is if you've got the command that you I'll go on then. We'll go off topic. If you've got the command that you want to run, then yeah, Rex has got you already. Edit files and etc cron.d and you're good. Figure out which bits you want to be stars, which bits you want to specify the hour, and you should be good. Cool. Let's go. Go back to this. Cheers for the follow. Thank you. This has been running for 8 minutes now. Why is this so slow? Cheers for the follow. Takes a minute to pop up on my screen, but yeah, thanks both. This is running super slow. I'm not really sure why. I bet it's something additional that we're doing here. So I guess we're running these before installs, but we were, and we don't do that for the test runs. So that's that. And then so that could be taking some time. So I could go on up to the top of here and just see if I can see those apt install and that pip command. Oh well, we don't really lose much time to that. 10 seconds to the Python install, and then 13 seconds to the 2 pip packages. So it's not that. We lose 38 seconds to a wasm pack build, which I'm okay with. This warning thing we fixed in another. We fixed that somewhere else in another branch, but doesn't slow us down very much. Let's have a look. So I guess code coverage is another thing we do. So we do a verbose cargo build. Yeah, that takes a little while, 4 minutes. I guess makes sense if you're doing a verbose build and you're basically saying tell me everything. It is pretty verbose, I'll give it that. Then it compiles our actual project. Moans about a function that's not used on this branch, but it's fixed on another branch. And then, sorry, I keep looking to the side because I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but you guys, looks like you're all helping each other out, so that's good. Compiling, running, lots of compiling, lots of running. At some point here we should see cargo test output. Okay, so that's the test output. Dev unoptimized. It took 2 minutes and a bit to compile it. I bet it took a second or two to run those tests. They're not particularly taxing. Definitely fix that in a later stream. We need loads more testing in this. And then, yeah, this doesn't run at all, right? So 0.0 seconds, because we've got this if statement here to say if Travis is master and if it's not a pull request. So I guess we know that this logic is definitely good. And actually, do we want that if statement at all? Because we do want to report on code cov. Maybe code cov should be something separate again. For anyone that doesn't know what that is, by the way, I've just realized. So code cov is let's close some stuff down as well. There's we don't need that. We sorted that problem out. That was when I was searching for some answers earlier. That was me again searching for answers. That was me messing with the settings. Let's get rid of that. Very simply, if I go to this project and I go to the pull request, so at the moment we're adding Travis deploy stages, which has got an X against it. I'm not sure why. Then we get this neat little code cov report. You could add timestamp outputs. Yeah, you're right. I could do that. Perhaps it feels like Travis should do that for us. And I guess it's curious that it isn't. I kind of expect it between each command, but maybe only for certain commands. Because I guess what I don't want to have to do is run through all these lines and then manually add up all the dates or manually do the difference myself. But I completely get where you're coming from. That would do what we needed. It's like all this verbose stuff here. Why can't I minimize it? I select a bunch of lines, can I minimize them? No. Okay, anyway, that goes on for 4 minutes. Scroll down. Then it runs cargo tests. Oh, I was very wrong. I would have expected that to take only a few seconds. That's taking 3 minutes. So why? That seems to be running. It's almost like it's compiling it all over again just to run the tests. And cargo, maybe it's to do with cargo options. Did I specify a cargo options somewhere? No. Well, that's curious. Why would I have a variable that I'm using that I haven't set? Is that because perhaps it's an environment variable? Worth just checking that. So go up here, and if I go to settings, I can just check what secrets we've got saved in here. No, so they all begin with AWS, so it's nothing to do with that. I'm going to have a look online for Rust code cov, because this is definitely something we can speed up. Well, at least we can understand why this cargo options is here. Code cov example Rust. Let's see. Travis setup. So after success, we've got that. But yeah, so I guess we're running cargo test. Not even mentioned. Okay, that's not a very good example, or it's just too different from what we're using. Let's try this. GitLab CI. That's a bit different. So they're running cargo test, right? Let's have a look. Yeah, so they've completely Dockerized theirs. Guess we can have a look in the Docker file. No. Code carve example Rust. I feel like this is one I've already looked at. So let's have a look. Yeah, this is one I've already looked at. It's using kcov, which I don't think we're using. We're using grcov. So maybe let's have a look at grcov actually. Rust grcov. See what we can find. Mozilla. There's loads of stuff on here. Output files, filters, prefixes, source directories. Ah, look at this. Cargo options. Well, that's I'm speechless, apparently. I mean, if I run that on my local command line, dangerous as that might be, what do I get if I echo it? Nothing. It doesn't matter if it's an empty variable. Yeah, that's very true. Maybe we've just found some superfluous code in the example of grcov. Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, it's possible, yeah, they added it there as an example, as you say. Well, we don't need it. Let's get rid of it. Reduce our code just slightly. Removed, what are we going to call it? Unused bash variable. Before I push that, let's have a quick look. Have we got anything building? You know what? Everything builds like fast enough now that I, 5 or 10 minutes is okay. That's enough time to look into something while something else is building. Let's try that. Obviously, it's not going to make any difference actually, so let's do something else whilst that's running. So we were trying to figure out why cargo test was so slow. And curiously, if I run cargo test, and I realize I'm running this without verbose, but if I run this locally, you know what, it does do a complete compile. And I wonder if I run a cargo build and then a cargo test, if that causes it to do anything interesting. I mean, do we even need the cargo build? If it compiles everything anyway. Yeah, you're right. Now all 3 tests are running faster than a single test before. Things are looking up. Let me just getting slightly uncomfortable in my chair. I've been streaming for a little while now. No, actually I was just slouching. I feel fine now. Excellent. Okay, so that runs tests. Great. And if I do cargo build, that runs. If I do cargo test, that runs. What is the point of cargo build? I feel like it compiles it anyway. Maybe cargo build would have stopped it. Yeah, I really feel like there's something that can come out of here. Cargo build, I don't think it's necessary. But their example uses it. In case build hasn't been run yet. Yeah, I guess so. But so I guess in our case then, if we go down to cargo test, then ideally what we should see. Wow, that's but we shouldn't necessarily see it doing all of that. And if I put verbose, That was super quick. What was that? A second? 2 seconds? Whereas that was 3 minutes. Case build hasn't been run yet, but you'll get errors in the build phase. Yeah, but I don't see why this isn't. This feels like all of these lines here shouldn't be here. Like cargo test, I think. The first thing I would expect to see from cargo test in Travis is, you know, I'm still scrolling. That's how far I need to go. Is this bit? So I'm just expecting it to run this. Maybe compile here our package, but none of the dependencies. I'm not really sure why it does that 3 minutes of compile. Could remove verbose, but the thing is, I think verbose is useful, possibly even used for code cov as well. And if I do, even on the local command line here, if I have verbose, it still does it in a few seconds. Yeah, although I guess I ran cargo test, didn't I? So I could clear caches. So I'm pretty sure it needs verbose on the test, unfortunately. What makes me say that, actually? Why do I think it needs that? Let's test that. I think you're on something. Let's remove verbose. Don't need to verbose on any. No, that's true, actually. Feels like it gives us way too much information. Do we use verbose anywhere else? No. Git commit. Removed verbose. From build and test. Doesn't seem to add anything. Doesn't. Oh, what am I doing? No, no, no. Before I push, let's see. Yep, builds are officially. Oh no, I was going to say builds are officially fast enough now. If by the time I've finished faffing, all the builds are done. I'm going to stop this and this because I don't care about them. What's this up to? That's looking pretty good. That's just uploading a cache now. So our caching got a bit out of hand again. 3 gigs. Wow. See what's going on. That's completed. 5 minutes 20 seconds. You see what I did there? I clicked on the code, hit enter as if that was going to do what I wanted. There we go. Git push. So go back a step. Would 154. Okay, so we'll monitor that and see. Maybe it'll at least give some. Oh god, are you Rust dev from Face Punch? No. Is the short answer. I don't know what that is. And I think it would be. I think it'd be hard pushed to call myself any kind of Rust developer. Definitely at the hobbyist stage at this point. What dare I ask? Oh, it's a game, Rust. No. Yeah. Oh no, I know it's a game. I know there's a game called Rust as well. Oh, so Face Punch must be what, the company that make Rust? Am I a Rust dev from Face Punch? No, no. This is Rust, the programming language, which is let's say different. Yeah, it's a different Rust. A better rust. Wow, let's not go there. It's a constructive rust, although you can construct stuff in Rust the game, can't you? I think I've seen a few people play it. But yeah, I vaguely remember, yeah, like some kind of shack or something that people were hiding out in. Anyway, refresh. These are taking a while to even queue. Maybe they have the same ending when everything is getting ruined in the end and you're going to get a depression for some time. Right. What got ruined? Has Rust the game? Do you think Rust the game has been ruined? Is that what you're getting at? This stream's taken a very different direction than I thought it was going to today. Okie dokie, nothing. It's not working quick enough, so I wonder if we can squash something that's been running. Yeah, like this. Why is this running? I keep saying that and we haven't fixed it yet, but we will. I mean, oh, if my code gets ruined for some unknown reason. Oh, I see. I understand. You've been building something in the game and someone comes along and raids it. I mean, I hope not. I hope no one breaks my code. That'd be bad. I'm not even sure how you do that. Actually, that's a good thought exercise. So the code exists locally. The code exists on GitHub. Code exists in Travis. The code probably exists in a few backups, and I'd like to think a few people have, pulled a copy of the code. For all I know, EverX80's downloaded a copy of the code. So wherever he is in the globe, we could have a tremendous amount of redundancy. Yes, Git for the win. Okay, that's going a bit quicker now. But we've got to wait for these to finish before it tries to deploy, and then we can find out if CodeCov does its thing. And I guess as well, whilst all of that is going on, we can go across to CodeCov, which I kind of expected to work when I clicked on it, but it hasn't. Do I need to log in? Log in with GitHub. Ugh. Don't want to do that. Am I logged in now? Don't see your teams above, sync your teams. This one. Just want this one. Great. Why we use Git total history? Yeah, exactly. Cool. So code coverage is bad across the board. We should, in theory, I think I can do per commit. Yeah. So do we get to see which commit? Last 6 months is a bit ridiculous. 24 hours would be a bit nicer. Is it me, or is this just not updating at all? Is this completely ignoring me? So try that again. Don't need their app. Thank you. None of this is actually. I wonder. Quick look. They've got some kind of weird JavaScript error going on their site. No. And these are recent, right? Usability 24th of the 8th, 13th of the 8th. Okay, so it's not like there's no data. Just not doing anything. Wow, CodeCov, your graph is broken. So I was hoping that I'd be able to just check in here that yeah, so according to this, we actually haven't had an update for an hour. Hours ago. Guess we could have a look at this pull as well. Let's go over to here. 7 minutes ago. So 7 minutes ago, it just didn't see anything. Oh, you know what? I think CodeCov won't be doing anything because with a bit of luck, CodeCov would only report on the master branch. No, what am I saying? It would report on all the branches. You need to know in your pull request whether or not the code coverage is going up or down. So I'm not really sure why. 2 hours ago it went down. I mean, that makes sense. I wrote some more code, so I didn't write any tests. Maybe this only updates when it sees an actual change. Anyway, I was hoping that we could see if Travis was posting across okay to CodeCov, but I guess we'll have to wait. At least these times are pretty good. And I think I quite like that stable is faster than beta is faster than nightly. That makes sense. No, I'm not sure if it does make sense actually. You'd hope that beta would be quicker. And nightly would in turn be quicker, but I think it makes sense if it's got to pull down some extra stuff. Travis CI. Guess we can test that theory at some point. So I know I keep coming back to this first one. What does it actually do? It does actually run a bunch of tests against our code. I don't know. I don't know why it does that. I'd love to know, but I have absolutely no idea why we end up with this extra row. And in this case, it's stealing one of our containers. I don't even care for it. I'm going to stop that from running. This one I want. Yeah, true. It's a good point. Beta might not be quicker if they add new features. It's a very good point. And nightly, I guess, is a complete roll of the dice every day. I guess in some cases, I've not run into it yet, but I presume some nightlies are just going to outright break my my tests or my repo, or dependencies won't work, or any number of things. See what's going on here. Perf rustlang.co dot what was going to say there, Korg. EverX80 has suggested that I go to perf.rustlang.org. Wow. Wow, okay. Baseline, clean, patched. So these are, I'm guessing, the different commands that get run. No, this is something else. These are jobs, are they? Yeah, these are builds. Okay. This is pretty neat. I'm not really sure what it means by baseline, clean and patched. I feel like this is an immensely powerful tool to learn a great deal about rendering things, but compiling things, but I think this is lost on me for the most part. There's a search. Oh, no, that's not what I meant to do. There's a search button at the top. Graphs compare, dashboard. Average time for a check build. Average time for a debug build. So that's a clean incremental, patched incremental. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here. Gonna leave that. Compare tab is also nice. Okay, let's go to compare. Yeah, okay. Don't know what these are. Are these packages? Yeah, they are. CERD, regex, SVN, or sorry, SYN. I recognize those. Patched incremental. Okay, I think I'm beginning to understand what I'm looking at now. This is, yeah, this is very, very cool. And this makes sense, right? So I guess the thing you're showing me is the fact that they don't take chances with nightly. They build it against as you just said, an absolute ton of different crates. And they'll probably know, therefore, if nightly's going to fail. I guess go off a different commit if it does. Don't know. I don't know how their internal team work on it. That's really cool though. What were we doing? Let's go back. Build 150. Build 154, which was this one, and then 0.5 because it's the deploy bit. So that's still running. I can't remember how long that took before, but it can't be too much longer. And then I guess we'll get to see the probably much cleaner output. Yeah, packing new archive. It's running garchive. And actually, that's pretty neat. That's a very specific URL I can go to. Hello, Ant. How you doing? Just join the chat, I see. So feel like cool. Okay, grid. One untracked file, other files not tracked. Oh, of course. Of course, CodeCov's not bothering to update because we're just changing a YAML file, not the Rust files themselves. Okay, so that's the fact that that's worked. Without, and if I guess if I keep scrolling up, I'm going to see the cargo build and the cargo test. Yeah, that's much quicker as well. 36 seconds, 9 seconds. Yeah, you're absolutely onto something with the getting rid of the verbose. Maybe it's also read some of that from cache as well. So we're getting there. We're getting there with these build times. What are we at? That one's still going. What's this? Oh, it's this one again. What do I want to do about that? I feel like we really need to get to the bottom of why these are still running. And the fact that it's running nightly twice as well. It feels like it's running everything actually without the stages. So what's this running against? If I have a look here. I am not sure why that's there. Yeah, okay. So I go back to being confused about this. So we've fixed a whole bunch of stuff with loads of help from chat. Thank you. We've got to the point where these builds. We go back to build history. One 152, 154. Oh, curious. It counts as cancelled because I didn't run this one. Well, I want it to go green, so maybe I'm going to rerun it. So yeah, there's a couple of mysteries yet to solve to get this speed down, or speed up, and build time down even more. One of them is this rust thing here that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And in fact, that deploy, this whole deploy shouldn't be running at all because we've put 2 if statements in here. So that would instantly knock a whole 3 minutes off. I wonder if we can. Wonder if we can do this. I'll let this one run because I'd like to see some green for a change. That'd be good. But let's also commit this just to check what's going on with Git. Yeah, so it's just those changes. So guess we are attempting to not build that's not the right word, is it? Attempting to not run deploy build when in a PR. I mean, that's what we're doing, but what do we? Guess we're moving ifs. No, I haven't moved them. Copying ifs into just nightly. Oh wow, okay. EverX80's just said, yeah, Rust team run the compiler against all the crates in crates.io. Well, I guess that's nightly, right? They do that. That's a lot of processing power they must get through. I don't know how many crates that is. I feel like there's probably thousands in there. Let's push these changes. Oh, not per night. Oh, okay. So I guess when they go to like beta or something like that, right? Yeah. Cool. I bet there's voices in their or in their groups arguing they should do it on nightly. Get more debug info quicker. Build history. Hello to we've got quite a few people in the stream now. If anyone has questions, give us a shout. Been going for a little while on this project. Stream's been running for quite a while actually today as well, and we've managed to get the build down from 49 minutes was the last one, the slowest one, and we've got it down to what, 10 minutes, less than that. Okay, well, that didn't help in the slightest. travisci if branch. Let's see if we can find something here to get rid of this last part of the build. Sorry, get rid of the deploy part, because it doesn't need to run unless it's actually deploying. Might be it. Skipping a deployment with the script provided because this branch is not permitted. This is probably not what I want. Conditional build branches, that's probably what I want. Yeah, cheers for that FYI, the creator.rustlang.org. I will definitely take a look at that. But maybe we could take a look at that during the next build. When we're waiting for something, I'll do that. Tag new release. Yeah. This is curious. I had a build stage that looked like this. And that's basically what we're doing, right? It's very surprising to me to see that this was building on pull request type builds. It makes sense why this is the case, because it merges the default branch into the PR for testing. That behavior was not obvious. Oh, maybe I'm only allowed one if. I didn't even consider that. I did not consider that at all. Maybe you're supposed to have one if line, not two. In which case, first of all, let's try that. Second of all, let's get rid of that because we've seen that it doesn't make any difference. So we can say we're reverting last commit, and I already feel bad about the and. So there's two things in one commit. I probably shouldn't be doing that. But let's see. Reverting last commit and adding an and, I guess. And merging the, it'll be fine. Yeah, that's true. At the moment, it's this. I guess it's not a professional project, right? It's not like I'm gonna be figuring out at some point in the future why this particular commit has done something. Well, I don't know. Let's not jinx it. Right, reverting last commit and merging the if. If branch logic into one line, which might be what we were supposed to do all along, but we don't know for sure. Git push. I know I've already got a build running, by the way. I'm fine with that. Build 159. What is that? Cancel all of those. 157. Cancel all of those. That's not right. Build history. 158. That's not what I expected at all. But maybe that's right. So previously, let's open both of these up side by side. So this is what we had previously. This is what we have now. So the only thing that's changing are the jobs themselves. That doesn't seem right. We've got two nightlies. It's still running the same number of jobs. It's just forgotten stages. So this must have busted the syntax somehow, would be my guess. It is a guess, I admit. Let all that run to its heart's content. Maybe it should be does not equal pull request, but that's possibly a different problem. Type does not equal. Yeah. All right. Since you've suggested it and I've suggested it at roughly the same time, maybe we're both on something here. Let's not doubt. Let's not doubt. Attempting to build when, or actually only deploy when not a pull request. Ah, good. Someone feels a bit rusty when it comes to this language. Yeah, whenever I come back to it, it's a bit rusty. I quite like the ecosystem they've got going around. Like there's loads of cool names. Like I quite like the idea of if you write Rust, you're a fellow Rustacean, stuff like that. That's pretty neat. That's the little things, right? Okay, I think we've decided we don't care so much about caching anymore. So let's close that. I'm going to move this WSL2 thing to the far left because we're probably going to keep going with other stuff for the time being, but we're definitely going to come back to that. Not today, then in a future stream. And what am I doing? So I guess I don't really care if these all run, so I'm going to cancel them down. Let's push this. See what we get. The mascot is cute. Yeah, let's get the Rustacean. Really? That's not what I was expecting. Must be here somewhere. Where is the crab, the beloved crab? Surely on the Get Started guide. No, there is no crab anywhere. Ah, there's a crab. Nice little ASCII crab. Maybe we should add an ASCII crab to our build pipeline. I think that would add a great deal at a very little cost. I don't think I'm joking either. I was thinking maybe we don't want to do that, but actually we do. We'll come back to that. That's another thing to do. Add a tiny crab to our build pipeline. Right, what are we doing? Oh, did it get pushed, didn't I? So we should now see that there's a later build. 161 I think I can cancel down. That's interesting. That's very interesting actually. That suggests so this is curious. Before it was the even builds that looked like this with a separate test and the deploy. But now we've gone for an odd build. So I wonder if an extra build has snuck in somehow. I think that may be the case. Anyway, that really didn't do what I wanted it to do. So that's a branch. That's master. Yep, this is starting to get a bit confusing. Maybe I've got too many builds going at once. My own fault. Guess we could have a look at this one. Let's have a look. See how it's going. Not particularly quickly, but it is going. Okay, I'm going to cancel on down some of these builds. and we can see branch adding. So this is part of a branch. So I assume this is a commit. So if I go here, this is probably a commit on a branch, right? Yes. Whereas this one is just branch master. So if I go to this commit, this is a commit that perhaps doesn't exist on a. That can't be true. Let's say it can't exist on a branch, but that can't be true. They are different commits. Curious. So I'm trying to figure out why we get 2 builds. That's my current conundrum, and also why we get this extra rust, and why this if statement's made everything go a bit weird. I think I'm going to close that down. Let's go to build history. All very curious. Five eight. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna, at the very least, I'm gonna take a short break. Come back to this. What time are we at actually? 4 o'clock. So I've been going 4 hours. In fact, I think I'm not going to take a break. I think that's probably it for today. Should be back online tomorrow, and we can pick this up from where we left off. We've got this build CI pipeline in pretty good shape now. There's still stuff to fix, improve on it. I think we could probably get those builds down to like 3 or 4 minutes with a bit of luck. But yeah, thanks everyone. It's been it was a great session. I learned absolutely loads. Particularly, what did we do? Exit codes. We did caching within Travis. We did this thing, discovering it probably needs to be a single line, but we'll pick that up next time. That little speed up was great. Cool. All right. Thanks everyone. Speak soon, I guess. See you tomorrow.